we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Karen Newman of Franklin, Michigan, with a rousing rendition of both the Canadian and U.S. national anthems here on a Wednesday night at the Joe Louis Arena. The Red Wings looking to, as we've mentioned a couple of times, make it 4 in a row and to really establish something, Mick, on home ice where they won 26 games. They got off to a bad start with their performance in the home opener against Montreal. And you see the Jets unbeaten in their last 2, and as you look also at the injured Red Wing players, the Winnipeg Jets have only 1 loss in their last 5, Mick.
Well, when you have an opportunity to get the kind of a start the Red Wings do, start meaning approximately the first quarter of your season through 20 games, as you look at your officials for tonight, they've got a chance to do that now. They're 500 starting the game tonight, and as you mentioned, 7 of the next 9 here at Joe Louis. They've got a great opportunity to really get off to some comfortable ground.
Center ice, this is Lidstrom knocking it back toward the Winnipeg zone. Brian Murray starting off with Steve Yzerman between Kevin Miller and Bob Probert, who of course could not play in Saturday's game at Quebec because of his continuing immigration status that does not allow him to travel into Canada. Danton Cole bumping there with McCrimmon deep in the Detroit zone. Now it's held in by Olesen, who bounced one in on Cheveldae. He steers that aside. Troy Murray, who Mick mentioned at the top of the show, now in a Winnipeg uniform after all those years with the Blackhawks. Here's Danton Cole, a wraparound attempt. It slipped off his stick, and the Red Wings come out with it. Yzerman up the right side. He's got Probert in the middle of the ice. Tried to slip it through Sean Cronin. Here is Probert. Back to Yzerman. Let the shot go. And he banned on it. It was blocked by Cronin, who failed to clear. The turnover here at Probert. Has it knocked away. It'll be held in by Marsh. It's in the glove of Tabaracci. He decides to hang on to it.
Tabaracci not going to take any chances. You could hear one of his teammates as you look at John Paddock, the former Philadelphia Flyer, in back of that Winnipeg bench. We had a short chat with Mike Smith, the general manager, before the game down in the press room, and he was talking about the Winnipeg situation. Their arena arguments are going on there. Will the team be there next year? Brian Murray knows exactly where his team is going to be, right here at JLA. Murray having to juggle his lineup, David, with injuries.
We'll get to the injuries. We showed you some of them in the rest of the scratches. The first opportunity we have right here, it's Fedorov, Fedek, and Burr. But the Jets able to clear, and it's dumped back in behind Cheveldae by Darren Shannon, number 34, former first-round pick of the Buffalo Sabres.
Look at this onside.
Fedorov coming in. Tabaracci, the shot saved made by Tabaracci, and Fedorov again with a breakaway opportunity. Having problems finding the net. Shannon drops it now. Here's Ed Olchuk with an opportunity that's deflected to the corner. Shannon back behind the net. Tied up by Marsh. Fedorov knocks the puck away. Tried to clear the zone. Elenek got a piece of it. Now here is Konstantinov getting some help from Fedorov, and he clears. Here comes Housley now. He can move with the puck as he carries into the Detroit zone. Dumps it back in deep behind Chevrolet. Loose puck, Elenek. And it knocked away by Konstantinov. Mike Hartman, formerly of the Sabres. He loses it. Marsh sends it down the ice. And an icing call here as Carlisle touches.
No, they're not going to go. Instead of hit the goaltender. And allowed play to continue.
Here comes Hartman now, number 20 up the left side. Snaps the long wrist shot. Didn't miss by much. Held in by Mike Eagles as he dumps it to the corner. Jets working hard and skating well here in the early going. Now Shepard looks to clear the zone. Getting some help from Doug Crossman, who's back in the lineup tonight. And Shepard skates it to center ice. Taking a couple of slashes there from Elenek and a hit from Carlisle. As the puck rolls back in behind the Winnipeg goal. Taken there by Housley. Housley goes up the middle. It deflects to Crossman. He gives it off down to Shepard. Shepard across the line. Leaves it for Carson. Carson hits the late man coming. Quick shot. Tabaracci the save. Oh, they dump it back into the crease. And Tabaracci alertly covers up as Bobby Dallas had the good scoring chance. 16:38 to go in the first. No score.
The Wellness Plan presents Mr. and Mrs. William Tell.
William, I'm concerned about you. You should get a checkup.
Oh, no. What I really need is a bigger target.
No, what you really need is an HMO, the Wellness Plan.
Will it improve my age?
No, but it'll improve your health. And we'll get all the benefits an HMO offers.
You really want to help?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't move.
Right.
The Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. Call 875-WELL.
Fedorov a moment ago again is in, and he's had so many opportunities like this in the first 7 games. The puck jumping a little bit again. Fedorov shoots it right into the chest of Tabaracci. That's Lidstrom with a drive, stopped by the right pad. Tabaracci, a very mobile goaltender, moves around sometimes a little too much for the coach's liking. Likes to wander a little bit.
Brent Ashton now, number 7 for the Jets, able to clear the zone. McCrimmon gets it to Lidstrom. He lifts it in wide at Tabaracci. Troy Murray clears it quickly up the boards. Probert forces a turnover there as Yzerman steals. Yzerman behind the net, a traffic jam. Yzerman comes out of there, though, with the loose puck. Being hooked by Olesen, number 4. Now Probert takes over. Probert trying to move into the slot area, was checked off the puck. And it's cleared to center ice where the Jets dump it in. Number 21, Russell Romanov. Now Chevrolet played it up the boards, and it deflects over the glass and out of play. Get to the scratches. You saw some of the injuries. Troy Crowder, Martin Lapointe out with injuries. Steve Chason re-injured that right ankle that he broke last year. Continues to give him problems. He did it in practice and is going to be out indefinitely. Yves Racine with a twisted knee skated this morning, but is not in action. Brian McClellan and Keith Primo are the other scratches. As you look at Vincent Riendeau wearing number 37 in a Red Wing uniform for the Winnipeg Jets. Of course, their captain and often their leading scorer Thomas Dean is out until at least December with back problems. Mo Mantha, Bob Asenza, the goaltender out of Michigan State, is scratched tonight. Ken Paetner, Mark Osborne, Phil Sykes, and Brian Erickson are the other scratches for John Paddock's Winnipeg Jets. Face-off controlled by the Wings, and Paddock right away goes for a line change. As Garpenlov now is checked by Dean Kennedy, number 3, who ran into the glass right where it goes from the short stuff to the high stuff. Yzerman, Garpenlov out there on a line with Alan Kerr. Lidstrom lets a shot go from a tough angle. It's blocked by Dean Kennedy and goes all the way back into the Red Wing zone. Paul Yzerman, who had a couple of assists in the win over Quebec, dumps it in behind Tabaracci. Picks up the puck himself, dumps it right in front. Alan Kerr went crashing into the goaltender Tabarachi, but the Jets able to clear. Marsh dumps it right back in. Keppo Numanen, the Finnish-born defenseman, plays it up the boards and dumps it right in on Chevrolet. Brad Marsh is there, plays it up the glass, center ice, deflected by McDermott. And McDermott carries into the wing zone, being checked by Sean Burr. Got a pretty good bite on him there. And Fedek with a big hit on Darren Shannon. Fedorov starts it back now with Fedek and Burr. Fedek up the right side, goes wide on Carlisle, drops it for Burr. He's spun around. No penalty coming. Here's a chance for Konstantinov. Dumps it back behind the Winnipeg net. And as Brad Marsh was going for it, he was hooked on the play. And the young referee, Dave Jackson, makes his first call of the night. And the Red Wings will be on the power play when we come back.
Howdy, viewers. Welcome to Texas, storehouse of our national treasures, like the world's largest Roadrunner and the world's largest strawberry. Not to mention the world's largest pair of cowboy boots. But the one thing you don't have to come here to see is the world's largest 12-pack of beer, because the Stroh's and Stroh's Light 15-can party pack is available at your favorite store. That's 3 extra cans.
First power play of the hockey game coming up will go to Detroit. There's a hit by Kennedy on Garpenlov. That was not the penalty. There it was there. It's Housley with a hold or a knee. You can call it one of a couple of things. And therefore the power play. That all started, Dave, because the Red Wings back in their own zone, really communicating and covering up for each other. One guy's behind the other to cut off the Winnipeg players. They pulled the transition and came the other way and forced the Jets to take a penalty.
Red Wings with good movement in the early part of this power play. Shepard, Gallant, and Carson. Now the puck knocked away, and Sean Cronin able to clear. Red Wings were 1 for 8 on the power play in Quebec the other night. I'll explain a little bit about how that power play worked.
Carson's in.
Carson's in up the right side with a flash. Tabarachi held his ground and made the save. Here's Gallant now in the corner. Taken off the stick of Shepard and cleared down the ice.
You don't have to be quick on your feet to be a linesman. Mark Paré, Brittner got decapitated. Now that's clearing shot by Kennedy.
Crossman moves it ahead for Shepard. Gallant takes it across the line. Tried to drop it back. Shepard was upended. Shannon with a giveaway there. The puck held in by Crossman. Sends it around for Carson. Carson and Shepard trying to work it loose, but the Jets, Numanen able to clear it down the ice. 50 seconds left on this power play. Fedorov skates it across the line. He's got Kevin Miller with him. Miller one time it breaks the blade of the stick. And the Jets clear it right back into their bench.
Get a break. The faceoff will come back in the zone, but boy, the Jets really dropping back quickly, and they're guilty of not standing up. At least, even if you're short-handed, you've got to stand up and try to at least eliminate the opposition from getting the blue line for nothing, really. And Miller's stick goes into a couple of pieces in the attempted slap shot. 41 seconds left in the Housley penalty. Kevin Miller sporting that great big black eye. Took a half a dozen stitches on the punch from Greg Smith the other night in Quebec. And from most comments about the 4-game suspension, I can't believe it was that few, especially given that Smith really was basically off the playing surface and came back out around the glass a second time to hit Kevin Miller.
How they come up with some of those numbers on those suspensions is really a mystery when you start comparing some of the suspensions. You know, Steve Chason got 4 games for cross-checking Rich Sutter from behind in the playoffs last year after he had been hit.
Well, I didn't see the explanation by Brian O'Neill in the paper, but people I talked to said it didn't seem to make a lot of sense for the incident that happened. And, you know, I guess you look at something like that, and Kevin Miller's probably very lucky that nothing more serious happened, but you get around that eye area, you could shatter a cheekbone, an eye bone, and danger of losing your career.
Probert now digs it loose along the boards. 23 seconds left in the man advantage. Konstantinov mishandles the puck, but then did a good job to step in front of Troy Murray, who may have had a clean breakaway. Here comes Fedorov now. Wink trying to take advantage of the closing seconds of this power play.
The Jets backing in so deep there.
Eiserman, quick shot. Cavaracci just got the bottom of his glove on it. Miller tries to send it back along the boards. Konstantinov had it knocked away. Here come the Jets now. Ashton ahead now for Stu Barnes. Barnes back for Ashton, and he was checked at the last second by Konstantinov. Now Fedorov knocks it up the boards. It's taken by Eiserman on the Red Wing. On the attack, Eiserman across the line. Banks it off the boards, takes Dean Kennedy out of the play. Probert with a hit there on Don Barber, but the Jets able to clear. And McCrimmon takes over back inside his own blue line. Moves it quickly to Bobby Dallas. Dallas tried to play it up the boards. It was blocked by Barber, but Dallas got it back for Kerr. Yarfimov with a shot from the top of the circle. Blocked in front by Newman. And Kerr went down, tried to one-hand it to the point, but the Jets recover. And Ashton is able to clear. Taken by Dallas again. Sends it ahead, looking for Garfimov. He's checked on the play by McDermott. Jets fail to clear, held in by Dallas. Now Garfimov along the board. Dean Kennedy with a hold of him. Coming over to help out is Kerr. Tried to dump it in front for Eisenbart, and the puck intercepted by Darren Shannon. Shannon's pass batted away by McCrimmon. Ends up behind Chevrolet. Now Darren Shannon back behind the Detroit goal. Shannon works it down to Carlisle. Tough angle shot deflected just wide of Chevrolet. Nearly came out in front again, but Chevrolet knocked it loose. Dallas hit from behind there by Shannon. No call by the referee Jackson. Here's a chance for the Jets. McDermott. Carlisle tees it up. His high shot.
Penalty Detroit delayed.
Wide of the net. Dallas blocks the puck along the board. Still no whistle, and now we'll get the whistle from Jackson. And boy, I'll tell you, they've been talking about cracking down on the hitting from behind, and Jackson just let a blatant hit on Dallas go by the boards, and it's the Red Wings shorthanded when we come back.
The Big Zero. That's the finance charge at Highland for 1 full year on new in-carton merchandise. From audio and video to home office equipment and appliances. 0% for 1 full year. In fact, everything you've ever wanted is at Highland Superstore's 0% financing event with absolutely no interest payments. And by the way, it's now through Saturday.
High sticking the call against Paul Eisenbart, and the Jets will have their first power play opportunity. You see the Red Wing penalty killing still near the bottom of the league. The Jets last night in their 1-1 tie at Long Island were 0 for 6 on the power play. That was a game that was 1-0 early in the game in favor of the Islanders. Stayed that way till less than 3 minutes left in regulation. Darren Shannon scored the tying goal. Bennick able to kick it out of the zone. Sean Burr races after it. He's got Elenick right on his tail. Burr unable to cut in around Elenick. Cavaracci had thought about coming up to play that puck and decided to stay back in his net. Here's Olofsson across the line. Hits the late man. Elenick with a blast. He missed it wide as that puck was bouncing on him a bit.
He's upset with himself. The Jets gained the line very, very easily on that play, and Elenick really was alone on the far side on his off wing. And he went to shoot that thing. It started bouncing, and he knuckleballed one off the glass up into the seats. With that, the faceoff will come back outside the Red Wing blue line into the neutral zone.
Minute 39 left in the Eisenbart penalty.
Winnipeg, David, loves to use their points. Now they've got Housley. A left-hand shot plays the right side, and Fredrik Olofsson, who's a big offensive defenseman, right-hand shot plays the left side. And both those guys can shoot the puck very well.
Olofsson did not make the trip to New York last night with the team. He's recovering from the flu, but he met up with his teammates here in Detroit this morning for the morning skate. Olofsson goes up the left side now. Troy Murray. Checked there by McCrimmon. Fedorov knocked it away and out to center ice. Housley, backhand pass blocked by Marsh. He'll just lift it back into the Winnipeg zone. The Jets moving quickly to center ice. Did not connect there with Troy Murray. That'll be icing, I believe. Yes, the call is made as Brad Marsh touches up. Well, we've got 2 of the 5 remaining helmetless players in the National Hockey League tonight. You're looking at one of them, Brad Marsh, of course. Randy Carlyle, number 8 for the Jets. It's one of the other ones. Here's Carlyle. The others, of course, are Craig McTavish of the Oilers, who we saw in here last week, Rod Langway of the Capitals, and Doug Wilson of the San Jose Sharks. And again, people are asking what players can elect not to wear helmets. They had to have signed a contract prior to October 1st of 1979 in order to have an opportunity to sign a waiver.
The option to not wear one,
right,
if you will.
So it won't be long before there won't be any left in the game. Newman in, moving in, quick wrist shot, Shovelday. Good concentration there. And we get Fedorov,
McDermott,
and Konstantinov.
Konstantinov drilled McDermott with the cross check while he was standing around the front of the net, and that's what really got it all going. And then Konstantinov got cuffed from behind by, who was that, Ashton?
That's when Fedorov jumped in.
Yes, it was Brent Ashton, number 7. Now,
Fedorov is going to the Red Wing penalty box, and I believe Ashton's going to go as well.
Whatever exchange it is, it's not a good one because Fedorov's out there in a penalty killing role. Still 43 seconds to go in the Eisbart penalty. That was Ashton. There's Konstantinov with McDermott. Now he gets drilled from behind by Ashton and then gets face washed, and then Fedorov returns the favor to Brad Ashton. Fedorov and Konstantinov learning very quickly how things are done up here, or over here, if you will. Normally, they wouldn't have to put up with that stuff in the European game. But I must say there are other things in the European game that would never be allowed to go on over here either.
Face-off still deep in the Detroit zone. The Jets with the man advantage for another 40 seconds, but McCrimmon here is able to clear it. All the way down the ice, and Tabaracci stops up there for Olesen. Olesen up the right side for Eddie Olchuk, former Chicago Blackhawk and Toronto Maple Leaf, trying to weave his way through the defense. Got off a pretty good one-handed opportunity there that's covered up by Shovelday. I just want to correct something I said earlier. I said Darren Shannon was a #1 draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres. He was a #1 pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins back in 1988 and the 4th player drafted overall. He was then traded to Buffalo in the deal that sent Tom Barrasso to the Penguins. And just recently, Shannon was picked up in a 5-player deal from Buffalo. Dave McElwain, the primary player from the Jets, going to Buffalo, along with Gord Donnelly. Housley from the point, his shot deflected. Shannon has it there. Back to the line, Housley, back to Shannon. 15 seconds left in the Jets' man advantage. Housley at the point, quick shot, tapped just wide of Shovelday. Housley sends it across.
Oh boy,
Olesen.
McCrimmon's going to go. He just drilled McDermott in front of the net. McDermott was doing a job, boy. He was causing problems for Brad McCrimmon, and finally McCrimmon got really peeved off and just heave-hoed him to the ice. And it's going to get a call for it. 4 seconds left to Eisbart. Well, for probably 8 seconds, the Wings will be 2-man short by the time Eisbart gets back into the play. Face-off, though, fortunately for Detroit, is outside the blue line.
Yeah, they moved it out. Apparently that puck last touched a Winnipeg stick before it went out of play.
Now, McDermott was really, he was doing what Bob Probert does in front of the net. He was banging McCrimmon around, screening the goaltender, doing his job. And he got to Brad McCrimmon.
Eiserman in front of the Detroit bench as Isa Bart comes out of the penalty box. Nearly intercepted that cleanly. Carries into the Jets zone. Drops it back for Marsh. A shot deflected wide of the Jets goal. Tipped away by Romanuk of the Jets and recovered now by Housley. Back up the left side for Olesen. Konstantinov put a pretty good fight on him. The Jets with their second consecutive power play. Shot in front, tipped away by Marsh. 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first, still no score. Konstantinov bounces it past Olesen and out to center ice. Here's Housley, number 6 for the Jets. Little head and shoulder fake to get by Marsh. Pass right out in front was behind Troy Murray. And it comes back to Olesen. Murray back to Olesen, or attempted to, and Sean Burr deflects it down the ice. Housley pass intercepted by Burr. Backhand shot. Cavaracci just got back in position to make the save. Jets dodged a bullet there. Eddie Olchuk now for the Jets. Drives it hard in behind Chevelday. Was unable to stop it. Aaron Shannon got a piece of it. Held in by Carlisle. Doug Crossman is back there. That took a strange hop off the board, but it favors the Red Wings as Brent Fedek now one-on-one against Randy Carlisle. Fakes the shot. Goes wide. And took a shove there from Carlisle. And the veteran Jets defenseman able to recover the puck. As now Newman carries into the Detroit zone, and that play offside. With 22 seconds left in the McCrimmon penalty, the Red Wing penalty killers doing the job. There's a look at the young referee, 26-year-old Dave Jackson, who officiated just one game in the National Hockey League last year. Did most of his work in the American Hockey League.
A lot of young guys coming into the ranks of the referees. Eiserman trying to give him some fatherly experience. After 8 years in the NHL. Here's son. They're both about the same age. Here's son. Here's how you do it over here. And keep an eye on those blue guys. They're banging me around.
This faceoff just outside the Detroit blue line. Not sure what this delay is all about here. Darren Shannon of the Jets has gone back to the bench. He may have an equipment problem. Looks like he's going down to the dressing room with one of the trainers. And now they've got 5 skaters out there for the Jets. They're ready to resume their power play chance here with 7:10 to go in the first period. No score. Olchuk sends it ahead. Housley shot just wide of Chevelday. Dallas able to clear. Cavaracci out of the net for Olesen. Look at Miller darting in there, but Olesen's quick pass eluded Miller, and here come the Jets into the Detroit zone. Penalty coming. It's going to be an interference call back at the blue line. And just as McCrimmon comes out of the box, the penalty is called. It's going to be tripping. Could have been interference, but the Jets, for the 3rd straight time, will have a man advantage when we come back.
Let's ask the Clarks, what makes Big Boy the best family restaurant? Could it be the new Big Boy Bake Shop right in the store? Or maybe the fast, friendly service? Thank you. Maybe it's our sunny greenhouse. How about our fabulous food? Of course. Yes, it's what we're famous for. Breakfast and lunch. And have you tried our new dinners? They're absolutely... Yep, you can taste the difference. Would you folks like a little quality time alone? You bet. Bye. Well, the Clarks have decided, but how about you? Come into Big Boy and decide for yourself.
You know, Brian Murray not happy with Jackson. Jets with the power play already on with McCrimmon in the box. Of course, had the man planted at the Red Wing blue line. As they cut across, he was tripped up by Dallas, and that was called by Jackson. So McCrimmon comes on. His penalty's up, and in goes Dallas. So the Jets just stay on the power play.
Their 3rd opportunity. Just on their 0 for 2, but you don't want to go to this well too often. The Jets...
You know what it does? You get a lot of people sitting on the bench that won't get a lot of ice time. Won't get any ice time for that matter. And just sit over there and stiffen up for about 7-8 minutes. 10 minutes maybe with 6 minutes of penalty clock time.
Carlisle bouncing puck. Able to hold it in. It goes in deep. Now Troy Murray sends it back to the line. Carlisle tees it up for the shot. Chevelday made the stop. Eiserman tried to thread it up the middle to Kevin Miller. And it was just tipped away. Murray again back inside his own zone. Gives it off to Teppo Numminen. Drives it behind Chevrolet. Sean Burr on the boards, able to get a stick on it. Now bumping there with Murray. It goes back to the point. Housley moves it to Numminen. A shot scores! May have been deflected out in front. Olchuk and Marsh were tied up there. But a power play goal for the Jets as they capitalize. They lead it 1-0.
Boy, Numminen got some lumber on this shot, and I believe it did go straight through. And ripped off the goalpost to the right of Chevrolet, his stick side, blocker side. Housley just barely gets the pass over there, and Numminen really ripped it to put the Jets out in front 1-0. 3 straight power plays finally do the Red Wings in, or in their case, 3 straight shorthanded situations. Numminen's second of the year. And that'll come at 14:08. Housley and Murray draw the assist. A power play goal, and the Jets draw first blood as the puck rolls deep into the Red Wings zone. Lidstrom touching it, and an icing call to the Jets. A power play goal for Teppo Numminen, and the Jets lead it 1-0.
With a full-size sedan like this, power for effortless passing and on-ramp merging is a necessity. Caprice doesn't scrimp in this department. Well, it doesn't scrimp in efficiency either, with the highest highway mileage of any V8 in its class.
The more I tested it, I knew nothing was going to stop this car except its anti-lock brakes.
In its first year, Chevrolet Caprice Classic LTZ was named Motor Trend Car of the Year.
When you can win over attitudes like ours with a car like this, it's got to be good. This one is terrific.
Well, the Abco Cup was the name of the championship trophy in the WHA, and the Winnipeg Jets, one of 4 WHA teams absorbed into the NHL in '79. Winnipeg won the last Abco Cup championship back in '79. Draw comes to McCrimmon. Mike Hartman all over him. Puck goes back behind the net. Gallant has it there. Tried to stuff it in front. It came right back to Gallant behind the goal. Jets leaving him alone back there. Gallant tries a wraparound attempt, and it was stuffed on the short side by Tabarachi. And Olesen starts it back for the Jets up the middle. Intended for Eagles, knocked away. Gallant center ice, bumped there by Cronin as the puck goes deep into the Jet zone. Olesen plays it up the boards. Pat Elenick has it there. Rink-wide pass intended for Hartman, tipped by McCrimmon, and that ends up about 10 rows into the seats. And out of play.
Mike Smith, the GM of the Winnipeg Jets, has continually been rotating players. Of course, the Jets have had their problems. As Dave mentioned, they finished last in Smythe Division last year. They had a lot of other teams' players, if you will, through trade on this present Winnipeg team.
Well, another former first-round pick for the Buffalo Sabres in '86, Sean Anderson. Remember him? Defenseman?
Yeah.
He's been playing over in Germany. He's been picked up by the Jets in exchange for Soviet player Sergei Karin, 28-year-old player who played a little bit with the Jets last season. So Sean Anderson has been acquired by Winnipeg. You talk about Mike Smith being busy. That was his 29th deal in 34 months as the general manager of the Jets.
That's busy.
Talk about Phil Esposito when he was in New York. Here's a chance at the side of the net. Don Barber stuffs it out in front. Chevrolet knocked it away. Fedek lands on top of one of the Winnipeg players. The Jets' Brent Ashton had it and then lost it to Sean Burr. And the Wings come out with it as it goes to Fedorov. And Fedek could not stay on side as he crossed paths with Fedorov. 4:06 to go in the first. 1-0 Jets.
If you sometimes feel like an underdog in business, here's a whole new way to compete. Make one phone call to Sprint, and they'll show you how an innovative long-distance company can make your business more productive. Not to mention, more competitive.
10,000 by the 30. We're in business.
So you can get to be one of those big, rich companies that everybody resents.
you can see the future stars of the NHL today with OHL action here at the Joe Louis Arena. The Detroit Ambassadors, led by their high-scoring forward Pat Peake, will play host to Owen Sound on October 29th here at the Joe Louis Arena. Tickets on sale at the box office and all Ticketmaster centers. That's the Ambassadors hosting Owen Sound October 29th here at the Joe Louis Arena. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the first period. Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond. Marty Adler will be joining us as he talks to some of the fans up on the concourse during our first intermission. Jets with a 1-0 lead, finally capitalizing after essentially 6 consecutive minutes of power play opportunity. Brad Marsh bounces it ahead. Eisebart got a stick on it. Marsh gets it back. Rolls it into the Winnipeg zone. Housley chases it down. Plays it up the right side. Danton Cole deflected it to Ed Olchuk. He plays it ahead into the Detroit zone. Darren Shannon was checked there by Konstantinov. Eisebart plays it off the boards for Alan Kerr. Kerr across the line. Housley knocked the puck away. Carlisle recovers, clears it ahead for Olchuk. Olchuk dumps it deep into the wing zone. Konstantinov tied up there with Shannon as the puck came right through the Detroit goal mouth area. Olchuk rolls it back in front. It's off the skate of Konstantinov. And Kerr able to clear and just avoids a Paul McDermott body check. Olchuk plays it ahead. McDermott is checked there by Lidstrom. Now McCrimmon looks up the middle. Yzerman tips it ahead. Probert could not control it. Yzerman back to pick it up with 2:45 to go in the first period. Nicholas Lidstrom bounces it ahead over the stick of Probert. They waved off the icing. Olsson chasing it back. Wraps it up the boards. Kevin Miller gets a piece of it. Back for Yzerman behind the goal. Yzerman checked there by Troy Murray, who did an excellent job playing the body against the Red Wing captain. Now here's Probert being watched by Olsson. Try to go back to the point. McCrimmon slaps it back into the circle. Miller redirects it toward the net, and Tabaracci able to cover up.
You wonder why Troy Murray won the Selke Award a few years ago playing for the Blackhawks. Did you see him take Yzerman up behind the net? That's playing the body. Of course, no matter how good you are, as good as Stevie Yzerman is, you can't do much when somebody corrals you like Troy Murray right there. Now, the captain of the Jets did to number 19 just a moment ago. Troy Murray, of course, in part of that Chicago shuffle going on over there with Mike Keenan. Last July just passed, 91, Murray traded to the Jets with Warren Reichel for Brian Marchment, who we saw in Chicago opening night. Big, tough defenseman. And Chris Norton. Murray in his 10th season now. That year he won the Selke. He had 45 goals, 99 points, and was a defensive center, if you will, checking the other big guys.
Newman took a hit there from Probert as the puck came up the boards. Now the Jets able to clear, and it ends up in the bench out of play. I would expect during the first intermission that Brian Murray's going to try to get his club to get a little bit more involved physically. The Jets are a very quick skating team. We saw Probert put a pretty good hit there. Newman, and as quick and as mobile as the Jets defense is, sometimes it's hard to hit him, but you got to make the effort to at least disrupt their flow coming out of their own zone.
Well, the Wings have really taken some, I don't know if you'd call them bad penalties. They're questionable penalties, but penalties that are not necessary, if you will, away from the play, like the last one that cost them the goal out at the blue line. They certainly got to cut down on those because they've gone with 4 lines basically, and of course all that penalty time, very few guys get a chance to get some ice time and get into the game. Got about 4 guys who do your penalty killing, and that's it.
Carson to take the draw here against Eagles. It's Carson, Shepard, and Gallant out there now. Face-off controlled by the Jets. Newman, who has the only goal of the game, plays it around for Danton Cole. Cole is kept by Carson. Now the Jets able to clear. No, they did not. Gallant held it in. Shepard takes it to the corner. He's being tied up by Newman. One hands it to the side of the net. Here's Gallant. Rolls off his stick. He chases it down. Dumps it back behind the Winnipeg goal. Dean Kennedy plays it up the board, but not out. Dallas able to hold it in. Shepard tried to center. It didn't get through. Ray Shepard has it back. Dumps it in front. Redirected by Carson. Ooh, didn't have a chance to
He's all alone too.
collect it and really get a good pop at it. Here is Gallant. He's taken out of the play by Eagles, and Tabarachi able to cover up.
Boy, Jimmy Carson was all alone in front of Tabarachi, and I'm not sure if he was surprised that the puck came to him. It was Shepard coming back towards the blue line. He was in the middle of the net, and he kind of flipped it back to his left and missed the net by 5 feet.
Carson with a goal and a couple of assists in that big win over Quebec the other night. Carson off to a good start with 4 goals and 8 points through 7 games. And he's one of the guys you mentioned that wouldn't get a lot of ice time during the Jets' 3 consecutive power play chances. What we got now?
It's going to be a hold to the Jets, I believe. There's the kind of a penalty I'm talking about right there. An unnecessary penalty where it's not a scoring chance or anything else, and this time it's the Jets' Phil Housley that takes it. Let's see if the Red Wings can capitalize and tie this one up. 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first period. Let's see if they can pick it up. Carlisle and Housley. Has it already happened? I believe it's happened. Yeah. Holding the call by referee Jackson. Well, Randy Carlisle seems like he's been around forever. In his 16th season in the NHL. He was drafted way back in 1976 by the Toronto Maple Leafs, their first choice in 1976.
Power play number 2 for the Red Wings here tonight. They trail 1-0. Yzerman, Miller, and Probert up front to start off this man advantage. Better off at the point, could not hold it in. He's back to recover though. Better off at Konstantinov on the points. Yzerman carries across the line, but it's tipped away.
Jets standing up now. You know, they guarded that blue line that time and didn't allow anything at all.
Better off looking for some room to operate. Skates it into the Jet zone. Now holds up along the board. Gives it across for Konstantinov. Konstantinov's pass was blocked by Olesen all the way back into the Detroit zone. Devillet moves it quickly to Fedorov. Up the middle for Probert across the line. Probert, good job to hang out of the puck as he's checked by Cole. Now Fedorov's pass is blocked.
Oh, look at that
giveaway there. Miller redirected just wide by Yzerman. Here's Probert now. Trying to control it. Less than 20 seconds remaining in the period. Probert top of the circle to Fedorov. Now to Kevin Miller. Miller lets the shot go. It's blocked across the zone. Konstantinov will hold it in. Back behind the net. Yzerman checked. Here's Kevin Miller in front for Probert. He banned on it. And the siren goes to end the first period. The Red Wings threatening with the man advantage in the closing minute. Period 1. But the Jets maintain a 1-0 lead. When we come back, Marty Adler will be on the concourse to talk to some of the Red Wing fans.
Hey, colors today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, heaven forbid if you should have something on that doesn't match. You know what I mean?
Good. Vinny hasn't really had enough time to get those pads colored up the way he'll want them. But incidentally, of course, with Riendo coming over in that deal, Cheveldae, as you see there, the Red Wings placed goaltender Alan Bester on waivers, and today he cleared waivers and will be sent to the Adirondack Red Wings of the American Hockey League. Incidentally, Sheldon Kennedy, boy, does he continue to rip it up in the American League. Scored his 10th goal last night for Adirondack in their 4-3 win over Moncton at the Glens Falls Civic Center. Last night, Adirondack off to a 3-4 start through 7 games, but they've lost 2 of those 4 games in overtime. They've scored 28 goals and given up 27, so they have been very much in every game they've played. Kennedy now with 10 goals and 2 assists for 12 points. Mike Sillinger, who did not get a point last night, 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. And I imagine after they get done with the current road trip that they're starting tomorrow up in Cape Breton, that we'll see one, if not both of them, here in Detroit to get a look.
You know, the interesting thing is Brian Murray it seems like yesterday, but it was 2 weeks ago. He had 27 or 28 players to choose from to start opening day. And only 20 can start. And all of a sudden, he's got guys all over the place on the injured reserve. Yeah. I mean, he's got Chason down, he's got Crowder down.
Racine for the time being.
Biel down, Racine, who's out. I mean, next thing you knew, he was having trouble getting 6 guys to play defense.
I expect we may see Mark Potvin, who's also been nursing an injury since training camp, back in the lineup this weekend.
Before the Zombo trade, of course, they had 9 defensemen. And You trade Zombo for a goaltender, so you've got 8, but there's been 2 of them on the injury list most of the time since the start of the season.
Still a power play for the Wings. 15 seconds left in the Housley minor as Olofsson drives it around the boards and all the way down the ice. And that'll about do it for the remaining time on this power play. Lidstrom did not get it back from Shepard. They misconnected there. Housley is out of the box. The Jets are at full strength. Gallant at center ice, couldn't collect the pass. Dean Kennedy got it up the middle, but it's intercepted now by Lidstrom across the line. He drops it off for Carson. Lets the shot go. Scores! Carson put it right through Cavaracci to tie the game at 1.
Boy, the Jets had a bad turnover at center ice. Right onto the stick of Lidstrom, and he just drilled up the middle, dropped it to Carson, and he smoked it right through the goaltender. Here comes Lidstrom. Got the holler from Jimmy Carson, I'm here, I'm here. And boom, he just ripped it and put it up underneath the left arm of Cavaracci. We're tied at 1. And that came off a turnover at center ice by the Winnipeg Jets.
Carson's 5th of the year, and Lidstrom, who we talked about at the top of the telecast with assist number 6, he now leads the Red Wings in that department.
It's his 7th point in his 8th game. That's what they wanted and expected out of Lidstrom, boy. When he sees an opening offensively, he goes and knows what to do with it.
Center ice, Yzerman. He hits Miller, trying to get around Newman. Newman with a good poke check. Just as Miller looked like he was about to step around him, Probert with a hit on Newman. Probert goes to Miller along the end board. Right to Yzerman. Tough angle shot did not get through. Yzerman has it again. Trying to come out of the corner. Yzerman check. Brad Marsh holds it in. Here's Miller. Lets it go for Probert. Centering pass tipped away by Cavaracci. Now Darren Shannon. Probert goes right over the top of him.
Holy smoke. Shannon, I don't know if he saw him or not, but he had his back turned when he made the play, and boy, he was admiring his pass. Yzerman just stopped point blank.
And Probert's got this place jumping now with another hit as he took a run at Paul McDermott. Kevin Miller bounces it into the Winnipeg zone, and as the puck is touched there, I believe it was played with a high stick.
Well, I tell you what, the way Probert hit Shannon has got to be awful strong. Yes, he went down, but he didn't go flying crazy, and I'm not sure he saw Probert coming, as he made that pass the other way and was watching where he passed it.
Later on in the shift, it was Paul McDermott himself, a pretty good body checker on the receiving end. Center ice now, Carlisle for the Jets. Plays it in wide to Chevelday. Lidstrom has it there. He's checked by Danton Cole, but the Wings able to come out with it now as Sean Burr starts it back with Fedorov and Bennett. Burr across the line, drops for Fedorov. Right in front for Fedek, and what a stop there by Cavaracci.
Sure was.
The pass right on the tape of Fedek's stick, and Cavaracci made the stop. Housley lost his footing as he tried to hold up. Sean Burr starts it back. Burr across the line, drops it for Fedorov. Fedorov, the shot deflected. Cavaracci the save, and he covers up.
Boy, that's a pretty nifty bang-bang transition game by the Wings themselves. We've talked a lot about the Jets, but that time it was the Red Wings, started by Burr, dropped the pass to Fedorov. He was looking around, he knew he was there, and he hit Brent Fedek right on the blade of the stick and forced Cavaracci to make an excellent save right there. Quick movement, heads-up play by Burr and Fedorov. Look at Burr looking around there as they came back a second time. Because Fedorov's shot deflected and almost fooled Cavaracci. It's the way to do it, though. When you got room to look around and you're not right up against an opposition, see where your teammates are coming, and you don't have to look once you get over the line. You can drop it and know he's going to be there.
Paul Yzerman playing center tonight with Garpenlove and Kerr. With the injuries and players moving in and out of the lineup, Yzerman's played pretty much at wing. Wins this faceoff, and Kerr got the scoring chance. Cavaracci made the save. Helenek now. Good, solid defensive play there by Bobby Dallas. Here comes Eisenbart now. Up the right side against Cronin. Cronin took him down, and a penalty there against John Cronin. Set up by the burst of speed of Eisenbart, and the Red Wings, who have tied the game, will be on the power play when we come back.
Recently, this couple walked out of Little Caesars with extra pepperoni and extra cheese without paying for it. It's Lotsa. 2 pizzas with extra pepperoni and extra cheese for $8.98. So why pay $8.99 for 1 pizza when you can get 2 for $8.98 at Little Caesars? It's like getting 1 pizza free.
Pizza.
Paul Eisenbart, he was calling for the puck. Get that loose end of the stick out there. The puck's already flipped into the middle, and Cronin calls him down. Eisenbart helped Jackson make the call. There was Dulles drilling Helenek on the far side. And what is Jackson calling now?
Well, there's something else that happened as
Hartman's
the Red Wings
in the
came
box.
out. It was Hartman and I believe Sean Cronin having words with Bob Probert. Of course, the Jets would probably like to get Probert off the ice, regardless of what the exchange is, because of the way Probert is having an impact on what's happening out there right now. Now they still don't have anything up on the clock. Now they got 2 minutes up for Cronin. That was the original penalty, and an additional 2 up there for Mike Hartman. So a full 2 minutes of a 2-man advantage.
The fans just realizing what the Red Wings are looking at here with the 5-on-3.
Winnipeg penalty number 44, Sean Cronin.
Not showing a lot of anything, but you know he's burning up inside, wondering what in the heck is going on here.
2 minutes for high sticking.
2 penalties. Hartman for high sticking, Cronin for holding. And the Red Wings will go with Yzerman, Fedorov, Lidstrom, Probert. That Eisenbart on the far side?
Yes,
I believe. This is where you want to not let the fans force you to take the shots early. You only need 1 good shot here to take the lead. With a 5-on-3, you should be able to work it in close for something inside 20 feet.
Yzerman and Eagles on the draw. Wings control it. Yzerman goes back to Fedorov. Lets the shot go just wide of the net. Probert gets on the loose puck, gives it off to Eisenbart. Out to the point for Fedorov. He moves it now to Lidstrom. Lidstrom to Fedorov. Makes the shot. Hits it back to Lidstrom. In the corner to Yzerman to Probert. It was knocked away, but held in by Fedorov. In tight for Eisenbart. A chance here, and it was blocked by Olsen, who went down. Here's Fedorov. Blasts the shot. He hit the goalpost. Lidstrom holds it in. Minute 25 on the 2-man advantage. Lidstrom goes to Yzerman. He's got Probert in front. Bouncing puck. Backhand shot went wide.
Those point shots are awful low percentage shots.
Fedorov slides it to Eisenbart. Did not get it through Olsen. Back to Fedorov. He moves it now to Lidstrom. Fedorov one-times it just wide of the net. Lidstrom will hold it in. Lidstrom to Yzerman. His shot. Save. Rebound stopped. Another chance is knocked away as the Jets Tabaracci and the defense in front of him standing tall. Yzerman across the line. 40 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. Yzerman gives it back to Lidstrom. He goes to Fedorov. Lets the shot go. And Tabaracci got a piece of that. Lidstrom out near the line. Fedorov moves it to Yzerman. Mishandled it. Probert has it now. Right in front. Eisenbart had it poked away by Tabaracci. 17 seconds in the 2-man advantage. Lidstrom a drive. That was knocked away, I believe, by Tabaracci. Here's Yzerman in the corner. Yzerman behind the net had it knocked away. 4 seconds and both Jet players will come out. Fedorov shot deflected. High off the glass, and Cronin and Hartman come out. And that'll be icing.
Well, the Wings came close a couple of times. Fedorov hit the outside of the goalpost one time, but they really were not able, through that full 2 minutes, to work it inside. The Jets did an excellent job with that back defenseman in the diamond of cutting off the pass across the front of the net.
The 2 times that it went to Yzerman in the corner and he tried to go to Probert, Probert just couldn't handle it cleanly.
And Yzerman had a couple of chances on this side as well that never got through. They were blocked, so give the Jets a lot of credit.
That was
playing that really well.
That was the one good rebound opportunity that the Wings had during that entire 2 minutes.
You know, I know they say that 65-70% of the goals in the NHL come from the point, and that's probably true, but not on a 5-on-3. Those are very low percentage opportunities. They should be able to work that thing in close. The Wings tried, the Jets played it well.
Marsh shot got all the way through. Tamarachi got the blocker on it. Here's Ray Shepard out in front. Loose puck. Carson chipped it wide. Gallant goes to Shepard. He's checked by Cronin. Gallant centering pass intercepted by Olsen. Up the middle now for Mike Hartman. The shots in this period, 12-6. All the way to center ice. Carson has it there. Drops it back for Gallant. Knocked away. Shepard back for Gallant across the line. Carson being held up by Hartman. And the Jets finally able to clear the zone. Bill Housley. Don't want to let him get full head of steam. He carries across the line. His shot deflected wide of Doubleday. Tough angle. Doubleday makes a stop there. And the Wings able to clear it. Carlisle goes up the middle. McDermott able to get it to Ed Olchuk. Backhands it now for Darren Shannon. He's checked by Konstantinov as the puck over the glass out of play. Wings do not capitalize on the 2-man advantage. It remains tied at 1.
Getting to know you.
Well, we could have bought an expensive foreign car.
But we got the Geo Prism for a third of the cost.
It's so quiet that it doesn't sound like your car is actually running.
When I need it, it's there in the driveway, not in the mechanic shop.
This is my second Prism. The Prism is good for the environment because it's fuel efficient.
I got all of this in my Prism. Didn't have to rent a truck.
I feel very secure in my Prism.
Get to know Geo Prism. It's right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
Cars of the future are like this.
We'll have the Red Wings and the LA Kings led by Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry coming your way this Monday night. Pre-game show at 7:15, all the live action at 7:30. Of course, Gretzky's missed the last 2 games. His father, Walter Gretzky, with a very serious operation following an aneurysm. And Wayne's been with his dad for the last couple of weeks. Darren Shannon now as the Jets try to get something going offensively. It's been all Red Wings in this second period, thanks largely to that 2-man advantage. Newman and drilled by Burr. Here's Fedorov inside the line. Sets it up for Burr. And he fired it wide. Fedorov with a hit on McDermott.
He didn't get the angle and Fedorov went flying.
Crossman flips it ahead. Fedorov has it. Still without his helmet after that collision with McDermott. Burr across the line. Fedorov has it back. Fedorov makes a fake on Kennedy and then is taken down. The referee Jackson did not see it. He turned his head at the last second and completely missed the infraction.
He won't miss it verbally. He's getting it from the bench now, that's for sure.
Alan Kerr checked there by Eagles. McCrimmon took a face watch there from Mike Eagles. The puck goes back into the Red Wing zone.
He's moving pretty quickly right now.
Kerr able to clear the zone. Recovered by Barber of the Jets. The former Minnesota North Star has it stripped away by Garpenlove. Garpenlove tried to give it to Yzerman. Not enough on it. And the Jets Carlisle plays it across the Detroit line. McCrimmon right back to center ice. Garpenlove goes to Kerr. Kerr inside the blue line. Plays it off the boards now for Garpenlove. Garpenlove fanned on the pass. And it comes out center ice. Lidstrom has it there. Lidstrom, good job to duck under the Ashton check. And Lidstrom pulled down right in front of the bench. And Carlisle run at by Alan Kerr. And that draws a reaction. But I believe we're going to have the Ashton penalty, giving the Red Wings a power play. When we come back, 11.5 remaining in the second, 1-1.
extremely lightweight Rockport hiking boots instead of heavy hiking boots, your feet lift something like 20,000 fewer pounds every day. Rockports.
Sibley's is Michigan's largest Rockport dealer. No one carries more Rockports than Sibley Shoes, where you'll find every style from dress sports to lightweight waterproof hikers in a tremendous range of sizes. Stop into a Sibley store today and find out why Sibley's is Michigan's largest Rockport dealer. With 41 convenient locations, there's one near you.
Well, Red Wings will go on to power play as Ashton gets a hooking call. There's Sean Burr running right over the top of Teppo Numminen. And then the hook coming up right here. Lidstrom goes to take off. He's hooked right in the midsection by Ashton. Right in front of Mr. Jackson. That's a no-no.
Red Wings' 5th power play. There you see 0 for 4, including the two-man advantage, which counts as 2 power play opportunities. Here goes Cronin right after Probert. Probert has not taken off his gloves. He's completely trying to just draw the penalty on Cronin. And what an interesting call this will be.
No kidding. No kidding. Now Probert's going to go. He's going to go for something.
Now how can he put Probert in the penalty box?
I'll be honest with you, I did not see him start. It'll be a 5-2. It has to be a 5-minute penalty to Cronin because he.
Well, what do you give Probert a penalty for?
Like I said, I did not see it start. Didn't see whether Probert did anything or not. But if for nothing else, Bob Probert will get 2 minutes on reputation alone.
Boy, that is hard to believe watching that.
Penn's going to let Jackson know about it. He's going to tell Eisenman, well, Probert gave him one shot. You can see the hand motion there. Now Probert, there it is, 5 minutes for Cronin. I'm not sure what started that whole thing. Well, Cronin did get a 5-minute major, and Probert gets 2, probably for roughing.
That goes back to the last time the Red Wings were going to start the power play, and then Hartman took a penalty. Both Cronin and Hartman were trying to get Probert to take a penalty.
Number 24, Bob Probert, 2 minutes for roughing. Caught at 8:33.
You can see it. I didn't see on the replay whether you could tell Probert did anything at all to provoke Cronin. It's tough for me to believe that Cronin would just start wailing away on Probert for no reason at all.
Oh, there may have been
a shorthanded situation.
There may have been a verbal exchange, but you can't get 2 minutes for roughing just because you try to goad a guy into a penalty.
That's for sure.
From up here, it looked to be a rookie mistake by Jackson to give Probert anything there.
But you got a 4-on-3 now in favor of the Wings.
Then when Probert comes down, it'll be a 5-on-3. Well, though by that time the Ashton penalty will be over.
Right.
So here comes Eagles with a shorthanded opportunity, hits the outside of the net.
For all purposes, a one-man advantage for 5 minutes.
Yep. Doug Crossman went offside there. Actually, Brent Ashton will come out about 5 seconds ahead of Probert and even things up. And then when Probert comes out, the Wings will continue on with the man advantage. It's really crazy the way they keep track of power play opportunities, Mick. You know, the other
How
night...
many is this, 2.5?
Well, the other night in Quebec, when the Wings got the 10-minute power play...
Right, they give them 5 power play chances?
Well,
10 minutes?
It's one power play opportunity until you score a goal. Then it becomes another power play opportunity. And then when the Wings took a 2-minute minor penalty, that guy goes in and comes back out. Then it becomes another power play. Then they took a second minor penalty. Even though the man advantage is all set up by an original penalty, the Red Wings power play comes out looking 1 for 8, and I don't understand why in that situation they keep track of power play opportunities that way.
No, maybe, I'm sure the teams in their own way keep an idea on power play time and situations. They'd have to.
Navaracci just knocked it away from Carson, and the Jets able to clear. We've got a 1-1 hockey game, and we haven't quite reached the halfway mark of the second period. And the Red Wings with all kinds of power play time here in period number 2, and they need to capitalize to turn this game around. Here's Fedorov.
Now what do you got? You're going to have a penalty here, and it's going to be to Carson for interference. Holy smoke.
You know what happened there? The Winnipeg player tried to knock Carson offside.
Yeah,
he was able to get his foot back down, and Jackson called it interference.
Called it on Carson.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what.
Carson straddling the blue line, coming across. I thought it might have been offside because he did jump up in the air and lift his back foot, which would have put him offside. But I thought for a moment he got it back down. And it's number 4, Olofsson, the defenseman, who seemed to run into Carson. And Carson got the interference call. So that's the way she's called by referee Jackson.
Boy. Well, sometimes when a young referee starts to call things a certain way. Now, right there, Carson was bumped. You couldn't see it as it went out of the screen. His foot did come up. He got the foot back down, Mick, and I saw the linesman indicate the play was onside, and then Jackson called it interference. But things have kind of snowballed here. He called the 3 straight penalties against the Wings. Then he called 4 straight penalties against the Jets. Right now, you got 3 skaters aside for about 40 seconds, and you don't see this very often.
Sure don't. That's fun time, boy. Just get out there and all that room to float around. Fedorov should be able to do some damage here. And he could beat a guy one-on-one.
Coming in against Housley and Newman. And it knocked away, though, by Olchuk. Fedorov, Konstantinov, and McCrimmon, the 3 skaters for Detroit. Newman, Housley, and Olchuk for the Jets. Here's Konstantinov. Holds up along the boards. Now Fedorov beats it back to the line. McCrimmon. Back to Fedorov in the corner. Fedorov gives it back to Konstantinov. Trying to get it back to Fedorov. Intercepted by Housley. Housley in on Chevrolet. The shot. He scores! Chevrolet got a piece of it, but not enough. And what a blow that is to the Red Wings, who have had the power play opportunities, and an even strength 3-on-3 goal has given the Jets the lead.
Well, it's Konstantinov trying to get it back to Fedorov, and Housley anticipated, jumped into the middle, and intercepted the play. Chevrolet got 90% of it, but it just rolled into the back of the net right there as Housley went to the deke.
Actually, I think 4 seconds prior to this, Ashton's penalty. There's Ashton there, so he was on the ice, so it was a power play goal.
There's only 1 second left to Bob Probert's penalty, so it is indeed a power play goal. It was 4-on-3 at the time with Ashton coming out. Now,
there was a 5-second difference between Ashton and Probert. They only had 5 seconds of power play time, and they get the power play goal.
Now, let's see. Carson's going to come out because of the goal.
That's right. That's exactly right. Now, Jets are going to argue this, but that's right. If a power play goal is scored, somebody's got to come out of the box.
That's right. And Probert's only got 1 second left.
So that'll be 3 minutes of a 2-man advantage. Or excuse me, 3 minutes.
Get this right,
3 minutes of a 1-man advantage.
Yeah, the other way, Probert or Carson still would have had quite a bit of time left.
Right.
But the wrong side, it's 2-1 Winnipeg.
Second of the year for Housley. And it will be a power play goal. And we'll have to wait till the end of the period to give the official power play opportunities, because this is really a mess with these overlapping penalties. So Probert will be out in 1 second. There will still be 3 minutes left in the major to Cronin. The Jets lead it 2-1. Crossman and Lidstrom playing the points on this power play. Carson gives it back to Lidstrom up the left side. Fires it in behind Cavaracci up the boards. Gallant has it there. He goes to Shepard. Along the boards to Gallant. Gallant out near the blue line. He had no place to go with it.
Nobody there to help him.
Wing Shepard takes over. Circling the Winnipeg goal. Sends it out to Lidstrom at the left point. Back in the circle now to Shepard in the corner for Carson. Back for Gallant behind the net.
Crossman's got to be open.
Out in front, a chance. Cavaracci the save. Loose puck still in the goal mouth. And Darren Shannon able to pick it out of there. It was Crossman that stepped into that opening. Lidstrom drives it in behind Tabaracci. He slowed it down, but Carson gets there. Carson is bumped. Probert picks up the loose puck. He takes a slash there from Carlisle. Now Carson able to dig it loose. Back behind the net, Olesen steals it, clears it off the boards, did not get it by Lidstrom. It goes back in deep. Carson tried to center for Probert. The puck was up in the air, and the Jets able to clear. Red Wings getting some fresh bodies on there with 1:25 still left on this power play. McCrimmon's shot. Tabaracci on the low drive that would have been wide of the net. Has it in the glove. The Jets have had just one shot on goal in this period, and that was the goal scored by Housley.
Here's Gallant spots Crossman deep in the slot. He's coming in. There he is right there. I'm not sure whether that hit the left toe of Tabaracci. I don't think he knew. That thing laid right there in the crease. Doug Crossman snuck in from the point position, and Gallant hit him with the pass.
Tabaracci playing in his first NHL game this season, as he was playing down in Moncton of the American Hockey League. But Bob Asenza, the Michigan State graduate, who was scheduled to play tonight, still nursing a sore knee.
We still have 1:22 of power play time.
Wings control the draw. Fedorov sends it back to the line, and Konstantinov had to come center ice to get it. Probert sends it ahead for Kevin Miller. Miller checked there by Dean Kennedy. Kennedy ties him up. Probert checked there by Newmanin. Now Newmanin backhands it over the head of the Detroit defense. All the way back in the Red Wing zone. Jets leading 2-1. Yzerman carries into the Winnipeg zone. Tried to beat the Jets there individually, and they stood up across the blue line. And they were able to break it up. Yzerman sends it across the Jet zone. Carlisle able to just clear it past Konstantinov. Half a minute left in the power play. Probert gives it off to Yzerman. Trying to beat Carlisle on the outside. In front for Fedek. Fedek went crashing into the end boards and just missed the goaltender, Tabaracci. Crossman gives it off to Fedorov. Fedorov into the Winnipeg zone. Gives it to Burr. Cronin will be out in 5 seconds. Now here's Yzerman. Goes to Fedek out in front. Bouncing puck. McDermott chips it away. And Cronin is out of the box. Up the middle now for Yzerman. That's knocked away back inside the Detroit line. McCrimmon recovers as the teams are back in full strength. John Burr gives it off to Yzerman. He's got Fedek on his right. Yzerman across the line. Drops it back for Burr. Tipped away. Bouncing puck will be recovered by Doug Crossman. Crossman tried to set it in front. Here's Fedek behind the Winnipeg goal. His centering pass intercepted by Ashton, who overskates it. And Stu Barnes able to clear it center ice. McCrimmon moves it there to Bobby Dallas. Dallas slaps it in behind Tabaracci. He nearly mishandled it there. Backhands it out of trouble to Brent Ashton. Ashton across the line. Dumps it in deep. McDermott with a hit on Marsh. Marsh got it around the boards and out to center ice. Olesen flips it back in. It's knocked down by Marsh. Recovered by Dallas. Shepard, rink-wide pass for Gallant. He's spun around by Elena. Gallant with a steal. He's got Shepard alone. He scores! Nice little move by a goal scorer, Mick, in very tight quarters. He showed Tabaracci about 3 different moves, and a nice play by Gallant to force the turnover.
The Jets got confused back there. Cronin tried to play the puck, and Ray Shepard gave him the fake to the backhand, froze him, and just tucked it in between the goalpost and the trapper to tie it up at 2 with 5:11 to go in the second. But Cronin made the mistake. He tried to play the puck on Gallant. Look at how he froze. Tabaracci, Ray Shepard, his third of the year. He had 2 in Quebec the other night. And we're tied at 2.
Now you got Cronin and Hartman out there again, trying to stir things up for the Jets. That was a big goal for the Wings and a tough one for the Jets, who've been shorthanded most of the period and had the only goal up until that point. Housley back at his own blue line. Makes a move on Shepard, center ice. Housley into the Detroit zone.
Look at him go. He's a real river skater, isn't he?
Here's a turnover. Olchuk passes in front. Wings got a break there. It was just
Housley's down. He got him caught.
Oh, penalty.
Yep. He was knocked over, but it almost looked accidental, but not to Jackson, the referee. And I think it's a Red Wing penalty in the Jet power play. We have had a period full of power plays in both directions, and we're tied at 2.
The Big Zero. That's the finance charge at Highland for 1 full year on new in-carton merchandise, from audio and video to home office equipment and appliances. 0% for 1 full year. In fact, everything you've ever wanted is at Highland Superstore's 0% financing event with absolutely no interest payments. And by the way, it's now through Saturday.
Now 4:22 to go in the second period. Hot action around Chevelday. There's Housley going down.
Yeah, it was Garpenlov that
really, see, players were cutting in all directions. Housley was caught in there. He had just finished off a rush. And I think that was more of a collision than anything else, of skates meeting. Down went Housley. And the call. And another Winnipeg power play.
Unofficially, I've got the Red Wings 0 for 6 on the power play, while the Jets are 2 for 4. Here's Dan Cole cutting in and just lost it off the end of his stick as he tried to go to the forehand. Olsen moves it to Housley. Shoots it toward the net, deflected wide as Barnes was setting up the screen in front. Olsen blocked that Sean Burr clearing attempt. McCrimmon plays it up the boards. Housley slaps it back in deep. Romanuk is checked to the ice by Lidstrom. Now Fedek knocked it loose and Sean Burr able to clear it. Red Wings changing up their penalty-killing personnel as Housley gets it across the line. Dumps it in behind Chevelday. Stu Barnes behind the net. Has it knocked away by McCrimmon. Eiserman recovers. And clears it center ice. Kevin Miller. One-on-one against Olsen. The drive and the glove of Tamarachi.
John Paddock's having heart failure over there at the turnover behind the Red Wing net by Barnes.
Here's Housley. Moving it now to Pat Ellenuk. Ellenuk back to the point. Housley moves it quickly to Newman. Hit shot blocked by Eiserman. Now here's Barnes behind the net for Ellenuk. He was checked on the play by Konstantinov. Now the Jets knock it loose. Housley slides it across the Detroit zone. Held in here by Shannon. There in Shannon's pass. Knocked away by Marsh up the boards. Newman takes a hit from Kevin Miller. Konstantinov very aggressive going after that loose puck. Marsh knocks it away. And Miller clears. Center ice Shannon. He got it to Ellenuk. Ellenuk to Olchuk. Penalty to Garpenlov expired, but the Jets still have the pressure. Now it's knocked away center ice, and it hopped over Eiserman's stick. And Kevin Miller drives it in behind Tamarachi. 2:10 remaining here. In the second period, we're tied at 2. Pass up the middle for McDermott. Good play by Dallas to recover. Doug Crossman goes to Probert. He's able to clear. Now Cronin. Bumped hard by Fedorov. Sergei throwing his weight around.
Isn't he, though? Scout McDermott takes a run at Probert.
The play continues, and here's Dallas on the move. Across the line, Fedorov. For Probert, the shot! It was blocked in front. I don't think it ever got through to Tamarachi. Back comes Eddie Olchuk. Slides it across. Kicked toward the net by Hartman. And he almost picked up his own rebound. Now behind the net, Olchuk tried to get it out in front. It deflects all the way to the point. Cronin shot. Deflected in front. McDermott was trying to redirect it. couple of players go down, the puck underneath. And we get a whistle. 1:11 to go in the second, tied at 2.
Dan Larson knows a secluded course where the holes are challenging, but the fees aren't. Now, where do you suppose he'd rent a car? Budget, where every rental passes 25 quality checks and price is not a handicap. The smart money is on budget. Get a smart rate on a Lincoln. $199 per week, $39 each extra day with unlimited mileage. The smart money is on budget.
Hey, look at that Smythe division. Mick Vancouver off to just a great start. 7-1-1. L.A. currently on a road trip. Calgary with a win in Minnesota the other night. You see Winnipeg at the 500 mark in 4th place. Edmonton starting to roll after winning the last 2 games of their 4-game trip. And as expected, San Jose at the bottom.
I tell you, Vancouver has got a big, big hockey club. Saw them play earlier in the year. Mind you, they had back-to-back with San Jose to open the season, and they beat them both times. But they've got a big, big, strong team. Canucks, of course, have struggled over the years to be over 500.
McCrimmon plays it ahead, bouncing puck, Newman in, checked by Shepard. The puck ends up in the Winnipeg zone. Jets able to clear it. Less than a minute remaining now in the period. Stay with us in the second intermission. We'll have Redmond's corner. Keith Gabe will be stopping by. And of course, we'll have highlights of second period action. There's been a lot of action. Nice move by Gallant. Gallant lets the shot go. He slid it just wide of Tabarachi. Lidstrom along the boards, holding it in. Gives it now to Carson. Carson out near the top of the circle. It deflects to Gallant. He's checked by Newman. Tabarachi.
There's interference. There isn't any question. Tabarachi delivers a blow to Shepard, and they got new rules in this game to protect the goaltenders. There is a blatant observation there of the referee observing a play and not making the call. That play is supposed to be called both ways, either offensive or by the goaltender. There wasn't any question about that.
Well, a strange period. The Red Wings shorthanded most of the first period, and the Jets got the only goal. The Jets were shorthanded most of this period, but it was the Wings that outscored them 2-1. And we're tied at 2 after 2. We'll be back with Redmond's Corner and the rest of our second intermission activities right after. McCrimmon lifting it deep into the Jet zone. Tabarachi out of the net, settles it down there for Sean Cronin. Here comes Probert. Boom, Probert went down. Cronin was ready for him. And now here they go. Now Cronin's going to try to turtle, and I don't think Probert's going to let him. Now Cronin's going to try to plead innocent.
Cronin's a pretty strong boy. Probert took a pretty good run at him and bounced off and went down. Almost seemed like he was stung for a moment.
Well, unlike the first situation where Probert never dropped his stick or his gloves, Cronin did get some of his equipment off.
Well, I would almost bet you that he's going to give Probert more than Cronin. Can't imagine him not.
Well, Probert gets 5.
Yeah.
And Cronin gets 2. Exact same call he made.
They reversed it, eh? Okay. Huh.
Now that's a fair call in that situation. I just don't see how the first time they came together that Probert got 2 when Cronin got the 5. Actually, Probert's lucky he didn't get 2 for instigating plus 5 for fighting.
Well, he did verbally instigate it, but then Cronin kind of went forward towards him and shoved him, and that got it going.
So 4 skaters aside for 2 minutes, and then the Jets will have a 3-minute power play. And of course, barring any other penalties, and I would say we'll probably have more in the way this game has gone. But this is a key moment here, 4-on-4, especially for the Wings. They don't want to give one up with the Jets looking to get a power play after the minor penalty to Cronin expires.
Don't forget, though, Red Wings were penalized while they had the advantage of the Cronin 5-minute major. See if Jackson remains constant with that one.
Here's Yzerman circling the goal. Wraparound attempt. Cavaracci has it covered, and Ashton had Kevin Miller tied up.
Yzerman with a good burst of speed down the side. Look at him go between the boards and Kennedy. I don't think he even touched him. Tried that backhand wraparound. Puck bounced off of Kevin Miller in front and went right back to Cavaracci. Just a minute it played in the second or third period, rather. And a 2-2 tie. Probert and Cronin are in the box. Probert with a major, Cronin with a minor. And we're 4 aside.
Konstantinov at the point. His shot was blocked by Eagles. Now Fedek and Newman tie each other up. Here's Fedorov. Makes a little move on Carlisle. Cuts out in front. Cavaracci with a well-timed poke check. Now Teppo Newman at number 27 that started the scoring of this game back in the first period. Carries across the line. Tries to set it up for Barnes. It's intercepted by Marsh. Lead pass now for Fedorov. Over to Fedek. Back to Fedorov. Fedorov checked there by Newman, and Konstantinov back at center ice. Gives it off to Fedorov. He'll try it one more time. Lets the slap shot go that's blocked by Carlisle up into the seats and out of play. A little frustration on the part of Sergei Fedorov, banging his stick.
Very frustrated.
Well, Sergei has not scored a goal in the last 5 games.
He's had enough chances to score a couple of hat tricks.
Yep. Well, by my count, when Cronin comes out of the box, Winnipeg will be going on power play number 6. They are 2 for 5. Here is Housley deep in his own zone. Boy, has he seen a lot of ice time tonight, number 6.
He's just, I mean, he's like a river skater. He's got those big, long strides. Not a big guy. He's only 5'10". But he's really a smooth skater. And a smart hockey player.
Jets are content to waste some time back here. They're waiting for Cronin's penalty to expire, and they'll move it up the ice on the power play. Housley's pass comes to Elliott. Cronin is out of the box. Power play for the Jets. Barnes is checked at center ice, and the Jets regroup. Housley up the middle for Olchuk, trying to split the defense. Didn't get away much of a shot. Chevrolet made the stop. Olsson shot is blocked, and here comes Yzerman. One-on-one against Housley. Yzerman looking to cut in. Circles the net, rolls it out in front. Nobody in a white jersey there to receive it. Olsson up the right side. Stu Barnes. Couple of head shoulder fakes. Barnes sends it back to Olchuk. Barnes gets it back. Out to the point now for Housley. 2:22 left on the major penalty to Probert. Here's Olchuk. Wraps it back now for Elliott. Elliott tried to stuff it in front. Marsh ties him up. Marsh went down. The puck squirts loose. Jets have it. Comes in front now to Olsson. Side of the net. A shot right through the goal mouth. Off the stick of Barnes, who's set up to the right of Chevrolet. Barnes has it again. It's knocked away. And Marsh covering it up. Now the puck comes loose. Bird tries to cover up. Bobby Dallas comes up with it. He is checked as he tries to clear it down the ice. Marsh, who had lost his stick, gets it back as Yzerman tips it through center ice and back into the Winnipeg zone. Here comes Housley again. Pass up the middle for Elliott. Now a block by Konstantinov. And the Jets able to hold it in. First one there is Yzerman. He'll circle the Detroit goal. Yzerman's got some skating room now, and he'll take advantage of it. Yzerman against Carlisle. Yzerman will just play it all the way back center ice, where it's recovered by McCrimmon. Now it goes to Kevin Miller. Well, the Red Wing penalty killers just playing keep away right now. Carlisle goes to Newman in number 27. Back to Carlisle. Less than a minute remaining in the major penalty to Probert. Here comes Danton Cole. His screen shot blocked by Crossman up over the glass and out of play. Danton Cole, who played his college hockey at the Michigan State University for 3 years, a teammate of Kevin Miller's. Played there for 4 years himself. Third-year pro.
Played in a charity golf tournament with Danton Cole and Bob Essens this summer. A couple of nice young men.
Yes.
Yeah, you were there. Of course.
Yeah.
Keeping you up to date with the happenings in the sport world. Last look, it was 1-1 Minnesota and Atlanta in Game 4 of the World Series. Minnesota leading 2-1 starting tonight.
Pretty exciting finish last night in extra innings.
Yeah.
Romanek now goes to the corner for Olchuk. Out to the point. Olesen to Housley. Try to get it back to Olchuk. Now the Jets try to regroup. Shot in front, blocked, and it's cleared by Fedek. 25 seconds left in the major penalty to Probert. Housley stripped to the puck by Burr. Trying to make the play with it. And he's able to dump it back behind Tabaracci. Red Wings get some fresh legs out there. Pass up the middle, tipped deep into the Detroit zone. McCrimmon is there and bangs it down the ice. Bob Probert is out of the box. The Red Wing penalty killers come up with a big effort here in the early stages of the third period to keep this game at 2 apiece. Newman in at center ice. Backhands it to the right of Chevelday. Lidstrom gives it off now to Carson, who has one of the 2 Detroit goals. Carson's got Shepard with him. Carson had the puck roll off his stick. And the Jets able to clear. Neither Red Wing defenseman went for the puck. Finally, Lidstrom reaches back and clears the zone. Dean Kennedy rolls it back deep into the wings end. McCrimmon takes a hit. Second effort, though, got the puck up the boards, and Shepard able to clear. Hartman fans on it center ice. Gallant tried to get it to Shepard. It was intercepted. Jets recovered. Dean Kennedy goes to Eagles. His pass intercepted by Lidstrom, who is checked by McDermott. McDermott rolls it right out in front. Bouncing puck for Eagles. Chevelday made the stop. Wings failed to clear. Cronin held it in, but his pass is blocked. Here comes Carson now up the left side for Gallant. Let's the shot go. Tabaracci picks it up off the top of that pad and keeps Gallant with no goals on the season. 2-2, 13.5 remaining in the third.
Guys, October is our most important month of the year. As a public service, we've joined with AAA Michigan to give all motorists in the state of Michigan a free winter car care inspection, exclusively at over 90 Metro 25 tire centers statewide. A 12-point checkup done while they wait, with no appointment or purchase necessary through October 31st, available to all Michigan drivers. So let's get out there and help make every family's winter driving safer. How's that, Lauren? Call 1-800 Metro 25 for a participating dealer nearest you.
Gerard Gallant hasn't had a whole lot of scoring opportunities. He gets a good one here right at the top of the circle. Tries to put it to the far side, but Tabaracci out of the net well, played his angle perfectly, and picked it off with the trapper.
Measurman's got a 4-game scoring streak on the line with 3 goals and 4 assists. Dallas dumps it back for Probert in the corner. Probert got it loose off the boards. Jets tried to clear. Dallas held it in. Dallas bounces it to Kevin Miller. Miller being checked by Cronin. Miller lost his stick. As Cronin checks him, it comes up the boards and they get it to the line. Dallas held it in again. Here's Probert with a chance for Yzerman behind the net. Here's Probert. Cronin, number 44, moves it quickly down to Don Barber, and the Jets started back. Lead pass for Darren Shannon. Played off the boards by Chevelday. Crossman bangs it up the boards, but it's held in by Don Barber. Barber lets a shot go this block. Held in by the Jets. Carlisle, and Chevelday stops that one. Good play by Dallas. Now Darren Shannon and Barber working the boards for the Jets. Barber is checked on the play, and Dallas able to come out with it.
The guy that's played a strong game defensively. Number 8, Bobby Dallas.
12:25 left in the third period. 2-2 our score. Aaron Shannon dumps it deep into the Detroit zone. Konstantinov, look out, is right.
Ooh. Set up the middle pass, cross ice.
Romanuk with a hit on Dallas from behind. Here comes Dan Cole. Trying to get through the Red Wing defense, and Dallas and Konstantinov cut him off. Garpima plays it around the boards. Eagles held it in. But the Jets couldn't capitalize, and here's Garpima. He's got Eisenbart with him across the line. Eisenbart winds up top of the circle, missed it on the short side. And it's poked out to center ice. Marsh, good play to get over there and knock it loose. And the play offside as it hit Alan Kerr before he cleared the zone. 11:39 to go in the third. 2-2 our score.
Guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Walt Smith was wrong, because when Muskrat Mike discovered gold, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team came downstream, it got a little better. And when reinforcements of Old Milwaukee arrived, it most certainly got better. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
CCHA action coming your way Friday night here on Pass at 7 o'clock. The preseason second-ranked Michigan Wolverines at Michigan State. Always something on the line when those two schools get together. Doesn't seem to matter what the sport is or what the rankings are. Here's Dean Kennedy. Rolled it to the side of the net. Darren Shannon is there. He's tied up by Konstantinov for the time being. Now at Olchuk. Checked by Marsh. They were teammates for a couple of years in Toronto. Now it comes out to Dean Kennedy with a chance. Chevrolet is down. They score! The Jets kept the pressure on, and I believe it was McDermott that came in from Chevrolet's right and had nothing but a wide open net to give the Jets their third one-goal advantage of the hockey game.
Nobody home. You see there's 3 Red Wings caught behind the net, basically. And that means somebody's got to be open somewhere, and it was Paul McDermott. He just easily dumped it in the open net for the 3-2 lead. Konstantinov, March, Fedorov over there. And the Jets have got the lead once again. Darren Shannon did a pretty good job back there. Konstantinov was all over him with both arms for the longest time. And they just couldn't steal the puck away from Shannon. And it finally ended up in front of the net.
So you saw McDermott's first of the year, and the Red Wings again trail by a goal. Shannon and Kennedy draw the assist. Here comes Gallant, trying to feed it in front to Shepard. It's knocked away. Lidstrom just inside the blue line, unable to hold it in as Barnes clears. Now Chevrolet out of the net as the puck rolls into the wing zone. Chevrolet sweeps it up the board. Shepard has it. We approach the halfway mark of this third period. A bouncing puck. Oh, Gallant nearly picked it up. Now Elena fires it back in wide of Chevrolet. He plays it up the left wing side. Gallant has it there. Gallant cuts behind Shepard, and it was broken up at the Winnipeg blue line. Carson has it, waiting for his teammates to get on side. Carson backhands it wide of Tabarachi. It's taken now by Randy Carlisle. He goes to Danton Cole, who passes up the middle. And the Red Wings recover. Here's Shepard, dumps it deep. In behind Tabarachi. Well, the crowd starting to make some noise here at the Joe Louis Arena. They got the tomahawk chop going.
Yes, they are.
All right. Here comes Carson. He's got Probert and Miller with him. Probert makes the shot. Lets it go. Glove save Tabarachi, and he'll hang on. Just past the halfway mark of the third, and the Jets have regained the lead at 3-2.
Getting to know you.
Well, we could have bought an expensive foreign car.
But we got the Geo Prism for a third of the cost.
It's so quiet that it doesn't sound like your car is actually running.
When I need it, it's there in the driveway, not in the mechanic shop.
This is my second Prism. The Prism is good for the environment because it's fuel efficient.
I got all this in my Prism. Didn't have to rent a truck.
I feel very secure in my Prism.
Get to know Geo Prism. It's right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
Cars of the future are like this.
Well, the finest in entertainment coming your way to the Fox Theater. Look at that lineup beginning October 25th. Natalie Cole with an unforgettable evening. Grover Washington will be joined by Peebo Bryson. Tickets for all of those events at the Fox Theater are available at the Fox Theater box office in all Ticketmaster locations. Red Wings trail 3-2, and here come the Jets with a 2-on-1. It's Eagles. And Romanuk, Eagles, pulls the trigger, and Chevrolet, a big save there. Corbett able to get the puck loose. Starts it back now for Detroit. He's got Yzerman and Miller with him. Yzerman across the line. Dumps it in behind Tabaracci. He stops it there. Dean Kennedy plays it up the boards and just did get it by McCrimmon and Yzerman. Yzerman on the move. He's got that look like he wants to do something himself here. And he gets through a couple of Winnipeg players. Still has it. Sends it back to the slot. Intercepted by Darren Shannon. He drops it now for McDermott. Back for Olchuk. Bouncing puck. Olchuk falls down. Probert and Cronin come together again. And the Wings able to get it to center ice. Miller deflects it ahead for Yzerman. He's been out there a long time. Sean Burr is manhandled away from the play and no call made by the referee Jackson. Darren Shannon banks it up the boards and it hops over the stick of Brent Fennick. Wings dump it back in. Burr trying to get around Olson's check. Puck ends up behind the Winnipeg net. Mike Hartman battling there with Fennick. Held in by Fedorov. What's a shot go that's blocked up over the glass and out of play. 8:16 to go in the third. The Jets lead by a goal.
Evidently, some people have money to burn. Why else would they pay an outrageous fee to carry a simple credit card when they could carry the Discover card, the card that charges no annual fee, yet pays cash back on every charge, which means it puts money into your pocket. Instead of burning a hole in it, it pays to Discover.
There you see the Norris standings and what's at stake for the Red Wings here. If they can come back and win this game, they can move past Minnesota and move into a second-place tie with St. Louis. Very early in the season to really be worried about standings, but nice to establish something early on if you can.
You get a quick happy birthday in, David, to 4-year-old Derek Finger. 4 years old tomorrow.
Hey, see the big crowd here at the Joe Louis Arena? Hey, you're talking about Mike Smith, the general manager of the Jets, talking about their arena that they're hoping to build. They had a crowd in there earlier this month of 8,689, their lowest in 13 years in the NHL for a game against Vancouver. Wings working hard, but the Jets have the 1-goal lead. Konstantinov being chased by Hartman, and the Jets also working very hard here tonight. Easy to see why their road record is so good this early point in the season. Fennick shot in the glove of Tabaracci, and he hangs on. Talking about crowds last night when the Jets tied the Islanders 1-1. Of course, the Islanders in the middle of that controversy about the team being for sale. Are they going to sign Pat LaFontaine? They had just over 6,500 last night at the Nassau Coliseum. Well, less than a decade after winning those 4 Stanley Cups, how things can turn around as you look at Brent Fennick's opportunity.
Long distance again, though. Tabaracci can see that without any trouble at all. From 55, 60 feet. 7:44 now to go. Red Wing defensemen are starting to pinch a little bit, gamble a little more than they normally would.
Been a while since Winnipeg has won in this building. But they're threatening here tonight, leading 3-2 with 7:44 to go in the third. Eisenmark kicks it back. McCrimmon's shot went through and wide of Tabaracci. Very quick, short shifts for the Jets. Lead pass for Eisenmark. Missed Garfinov with a pass. Puck is still deep in the Jets zone. Kerr with a big hit on Dean Kennedy. Jets, though, able to get it past Crossman and down into the Detroit zone. Dallas moves it up the left wing side. Garfinov has it there. Right wing pass for Kerr. Knocked away from him by McDermott and recovered by Crossman of Detroit. Now Bobby Dallas. Dallas across the line. Makes a little fake on Kennedy. Tried to roll it in front. The pass didn't get through. Dallas centering pass. Hit the back of the net. Here's Darren Shannon wrapping it around the boards and down the ice. And that will be icing, I believe, as the puck will just get across the end line, and it is touched by Doug Crossman.
The Jets trying to do now is just keep the puck out of their own zone, dump it out very quickly. They're not really trying to make a whole lot of plays. They're going to try to hang on to this one-goal lead for the rest of the night. Alan Kerr nails Dean Kennedy. In behind Tabaracci.
Alan Kerr playing that rugged style that did him well in the Islanders organization. Had a couple of 20-goal seasons with the Islanders. Face off to the left of Richard Tabaracci. Draw was controlled by the Jets. Pass up the middle now for Stu Barnes on the left wing for Elenick. Elenick just rolls it in wide of Cheveldae. Lidstrom and Barnes tie up deep in the Detroit zone. Now the puck comes loose. Elenick has a tough angle shot. Cheveldae makes the save. It goes back to the corner. Lidstrom still tied up there with Barnes. Now Cronin holds it in, sends it back to the corner. Shepard back up the boards. Cronin held it in. Goes to Aston for a drive. Cheveldae the save. And the puck gets past Cronin. What have we got? Hit somebody on the bench?
Sure, I think it did.
6:09 to go in the third. The Jets maintain their one-goal lead.
Got a minute? Big Boy announces the end of boring chicken. 4 new taste tickling chicken dinners for just $5.99 each. Chicken Wisconsin smothered in cheddar cheese and broccoli sauce. Chicken Catalina with mozzarella and tomato spice sauce. Chicken Mexicana in a zesty salsa with cheddar. Chicken Texas with barbecue sauce and mozzarella on Texas toast.
Yeah!
And you get the soup, salad, and fruit bar free. So you see, chicken doesn't have to be boring. Come into Big Boy. Decide for yourself.
Keep up to date on what's happening with the Red Wings on the Wellness Plan hotline at 1-900-32-WINGS, 99 cents per minute. You'll hear comments from Brian Murray or a member of his coaching staff. A member of the Red Wings is also a menu item, and you can also speak out, leave questions or comments you might like Mickey to respond to on Redmond's Corner. All on the Red Wings Wellness Plan hotline, 99 cents per minute. Kids, please get parental consent before calling. Again, John Paddock going for a quick line change following the faceoff deep in the Detroit zone. 6 minutes left in the third, and the Red Wings trail 3-2. Mars plays it to center ice. Carlisle knocks it down, plays it back, intercepted by Kevin Miller. He was checked there at center ice by Russell Romanov. Mars goes back now to Konstantinov, up the middle for Yzerman. Yzerman across the line. Dumps it back behind Tabaracci. Marsh lost it. Probert gets it back behind the net. Marsh, the defenseman, way in there along with Yzerman and Probert. Puck squirts out in front, and here come the Jets. Miller is back defensively with Marsh caught. Danton Cole fakes the shot. He gets in, backhands it just wide. Nifty move there by the former Michigan State standout Danton Cole. But a fast-moving third period for most of the game. Pretty quick-moving pace. Right now, the Jets are just stopping everything in the neutral zone and not allowing the Red Wings to get any pressure against Tabaracci. Lead pass for Fedorov. Better off, gives it across now for Brent Fedek. Fedek loose for a shot just wide. Cronin just avoided Sean Burr's check, and here come the Jets the other way. Olchuk drives it in wide to Chevrolet. McDermott gets the shot away. Chevrolet the stop. Here comes Sean Cronin with a chance. Chevrolet juggles, and he has to play it there for Crossman. No, he got the whistle from the referee, Dave Jackson. 4:26 to go. Wings trail by a goal.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Mid-American Conference Football, Saturdays this fall on Pass Sports. The Miami Redskins take on the Toledo Rockets in a cross-state rivalry. Saturday afternoon live at 4 on Pass Sports. Just watch us.
Boy, Dan Cole almost put this one away. He showed Konstantinov a move right there. Faked the shot. He got Konstantinov playing the puck, and he just missed the outside of the post on Timmy Chevrolet. Keep this game at 3-2.
You mentioned Dan Cole was at a charity golf outing. We'll get to that in just a moment as this shot from the point is stopped by Chevrolet. Now Eisenbart trying to get something started for the Wings. Drops it to McCrimmon. Ahead now. Intended for Kerr, but they waved off the icing. The Jets touched it. Dangerous pass there, but the Jets got away with it. And this will be icing as McCrimmon touches up. You were mentioning Danton Cole at the Celebrity Golf Tournament. This being the 75th anniversary, I've been digging up some historical snippets, if you will. The Calder Memorial Trophy, which is presently awarded to the NHL's Rookie of the Year since 1936-37, had its origins in the late 1920s when they used to award the Calder Trophy for the best net score during the league's annual golf tournament. Now there's something you didn't know.
You're right.
Sergei communicating on the bench about what's going to happen the next time out there. Right here it's Carson, Shepard, and Gallant. Here's Gallant bumping with Carlisle deep in the Winnipeg zone. Carlisle fights off the check by Gallant, gets it to center ice, dumps it ahead, but he did not get to the red line. That's another one of those close interpretations of the icing rule.
Jets just picking away at the clock, down to 3:50 now. Nothing fancy at all for Winnipeg. You look at your shots on goal.
Had a couple of opportunities during that 3-minute power play.
That was 21-7 at one point there. Most of that, of course, in the second period, but
face off to the left of Tavarachi, who is certainly one of the stars of this hockey game. Carson will try the draw again against Stu Barnes, a rookie who played last year with the Canadian national team and was Winnipeg's first pick back in 1989. There you have a look at the right-hand centerman. Just 20 years of age. Looks about 16.
Yeah, he does.
Carson won the draw, but as he tried to tip it back to Lidstrom, it went wide of Lidstrom. That just means more time off the clock and a potential scoring chance by the boards. Here's Shepard now as the Wings started back into the Winnipeg zone. Gallant winds up with a shot, fired it wide of the goal. And it bounces all the way down the ice. 3.5 remaining in regulation time, and the Red Wings trail 3-2. Gallant pass broken up. Ashton lost it there to Lidstrom. He slides it across for McCrimmon. Up to center ice for Gallant. Gallant rolls it in behind Tavarachi. Eagles on the board, picks up the loose puck. Wraps it back up the boards, a giveaway there. Gallant intercepts, gets it back from Shepard. Tried to roll it in front for Carson. Back at the line, Marsh holds it in. Bouncing puck, and Eagles starts it back for Winnipeg. Mike Eagles, touch to the center of the Detroit zone. Lets the shot go, blocked by Marsh. Loose puck, a save there. Another chance. Stanton Cole had a pop at it. And Chevrolet with a couple of big saves. The Red Wings will go for a line change now as the puck is in deep behind Tavarachi. Yzerman, Probert, and Miller out there now. Plays it back to the Detroit line. Crossman up the middle for Yzerman. Not much room, but he makes a nifty pass to Fedorov. His shot fluttered in wide of Tamarachi. Cronin without a stick. And Tamarachi, though, the goaltender, able to clear it. Olchuk. That shot blocked by Crossman. Caught him right on the shin pad. We're inside 2 minutes now as you see the clock. Probert starts it back the other way. Probert across the line. Tries to set it up for Yzerman. Dean Kennedy able to play the bouncing puck in front of his own net. Olchuk clears the zone. Probert gets it back to the Winnipeg line. Yzerman couldn't handle the puck, but he got some help there from Fedorov. Minute and a half. Fedorov inside the line. Drops it off for Lidstrom.
Doubleday's out.
Yzerman put it to the side of the net. Now out in front, and Probert was checked on the play. Doubleday is out. The Red Wings have the extra attacker. It comes back to Lidstrom. Tees it up for a shot. Blocked in front. Carson couldn't get his stick loose. The crowd screaming for a penalty. Darren Shannon fires it wide of the open goal. But he was inside center ice, so there's no icing. 1 minute remaining. Konstantinov to center ice. Slaps it along the boards, wide of Tamarachi. Carlisle plays it hard up the boards. That hits Fedorov. He knocks it down. He's got a man coming in front. Yzerman couldn't tee it up. Shepard slaps it back in deep. Carson behind the net. Couldn't collect it. Here's Fedorov. Fedorov checked on the play.
Almost give it to Yzerman.
Yzerman goes back to Konstantinov. In deep now for Carson behind the net. Stuffs it out in front. Carson has it back. Out to the line. Lidstrom, a shot. Save Tamarachi. It comes back to Fedorov. His shot through a crowd. Knocked away. Probert trying to get it out in front. Less than 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Settling pass. Konstantinov's shot is blocked.
That'll do it.
And that's going to do it. The Winnipeg Jets, led by their goaltender, Rick Tamarachi, keeps their record perfect on the road. 2 wins, no losses, and 2 ties with a 3-2 win over the Red Wings.
Well, the Red Wings did everything they could at the end with Cheveldae out almost a minute and a half with the extra skater on the ice. But the Jets just were sprawling all over the place, got in the road of most of it, and when they didn't, Tamarachi was there to keep this game a 3-2 win for the Winnipeg Jets.
We'll be back with our Kowalski quality moment and some closing comments right after this.
The Express has done it once again. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
There's a drive in the deep left center. Racing hard is A.J. Well, it's good! Well, A.J. A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20. Mantle hits a high fly ball. It's deep left center field. It's way out there. It's way out there, and it is in there. I mean it's in there. There they go. Struck him out. Ball game is over. Bob Wells, the tremendous pitching performance. Listen to the crowd.
Welcome to baseball's greatest game with your host, Steve Garvey. Brought to you by Major League Baseball Home Video.
The 1991 World Series, perhaps the greatest ever played. For 7 games, the Minnesota Twins and Atlanta Braves battled play for play, pitch for pitch, and thrill for unforgettable thrill.
The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
All the excitement is in the 1991 World Series, the official video. To order for 1995, use your Visa or MasterCard and call this toll-free number. The amazing Atlanta Braves and their tomahawk chopping fans pushed the resilient Twins to the 10th inning of Game 7. Never before, maybe never again. Now you can have it forever. Just $19.95 plus $4 shipping. Call 1-800-524-1122 or send check or money order to this address. Visa or MasterCard, 1-800-524-1122.